Welcome to The Explainer. All right, we are right on the edge of a new Premier League season, and honestly, the stage is set for an absolute blockbuster. Now, Liverpool are coming in as the defending champions, sure, but after a summer of absolutely record-breaking spending and just high drama all over the league, well, let's just say their throne is anything but secure. I think this season is going to be an unforgettable one. So the big question is, what are the key storylines you really need to be watching? To get you ready, we've boiled down all the biggest pre-season talking points into one complete picture for you. Okay, let's dive right in. Okay, so here's the plan. We'll quickly touch on the state of the league, the key changes. Then we're going to get into the massive fight for the title, the desperate struggle for survival at the other end, the individuals who are really under the microscope, and then we'll wrap it all up with what this means for the season ahead. All right, first up, let's really set the scene for this season, because believe me, it's not just the teams that are changing. Yeah, the league itself has a whole new look and feel. On the pitch, we've got the first full season with semi-automated offsides, and that could be a total game changer. Then off the pitch, a new Puma match ball ends a massive 25-year run for Nike. You've got Everton settling into a brand new stadium, and a huge managerial move with Thomas Frank taking over at Tottenham. So yeah, the winds of change are definitely blowing. Now, this summer, it was really defined by an absolutely incredible spending spree. It's turned the battle for the title into a real high-stakes arms race. The betting markets pretty much tell the whole story. Liverpool are the team to beat, yeah? But only just. I mean, look at these odds. They show that Arsenal, Man City, and a very heavily backed Chelsea aren't just contenders. No, they're seen as genuine, serious threats, breathing right down the champions' necks. And this is pretty much exactly what the experts are all saying. Last season, yeah, it might have been all about Liverpool. But now, the consensus is for a much tighter, way more competitive fight. We're talking a potential 4-horse race that goes right down to the very end. So, what's fueling all this excitement? Simple. Money. Lots and lots of it. And Liverpool, they've led the charge, spending over £250 million to make absolutely sure they stay right there at the top. And this number right here, well, this is the exclamation point on all that spending. £116 million. That is the new British transfer record. That's what Liverpool paid for Florian Wirtz. It's just a massive statement of intent, isn't it? It says loud and clear, we have no plans to rest on our laurels. But, while the top clubs are spending all this money to try and win it all, the teams at the other end of the table, well, they're facing a very different and honestly, an increasingly difficult kind of pressure. So, let's welcome Leeds, Burnley, and Sunderland back into the top flight. But here's the kicker. They are replacing the exact same 3 teams that got promoted last year. Think about that. For the second season in a row, all 3 newcomers went straight back down. That is a rare and a deeply worrying trend. It really suggests there's a growing divide in English football. And this quote from a Leeds fan on Reddit, it just captures the feeling on the ground perfectly. It's this raw expression of fear. The feeling that the gap between the Championship and the Premier League isn't just a gap anymore. It's become a chasm. One that's almost impossible to cross in just one season. This whole trend is, unsurprisingly, fueling more and more talk about yo-yo clubs. You know what these are, right? Teams that are just too good for the second division, often helped by those big Premier League parachute payments, but they're just not quite equipped to compete when they get back to the top. So they get trapped in this endless cycle of promotion and relegation. Of course, this pressure, it isn't just on the teams as a whole. No, it's on the individuals. From the star strikers who are chasing personal glory to the managers you'll see pacing nervously on the touchline. So on the individual level, all eyes are on the Golden Boot. The big question, can anyone stop City's goal machine, Erling Haaland? The odds say it's going to be tough. But you've got Liverpool's ever-reliable Mo Salah right there in the mix, and Chelsea's João Pedro too. And hey, keep an eye on this interesting outsider, Liverpool's new signing, Hugo Ekitike. He could really shake things up. And the pressure on the managers, well, you could argue it's even more intense. 2 bosses in particular are starting this season in a very, very hot seat. Over at Manchester United, Ruben Amorim is on what pundits are calling a tiny leash. He needs results like yesterday. And then at Arsenal, after 2 second-place finishes and all that big spending, the message from Mikel Arteta is crystal clear. It's time. You have to deliver a major trophy this year. So after all that, what should you take away from this? As we head into this brand new season, what's the central conflict? The main story we should all be watching? Well, it really all boils down to this one fundamental clash. On one side, you have the established elite. Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Chelsea spending absolute fortunes to lock down their dominance and win trophies right now. And then on the other side, you have the ambitious challengers, the promoted clubs, the mid-table teams, all of them just fighting against these massive financial gaps and historical trends simply to survive and establish themselves. It is a classic battle of glory versus survival, and it's going to play out every single week. So that leaves us with the big one, the question that's going to hang over every single match for the next 9 months. When all is said and done, when that dust settles in May, will all that money have bought the title? Or is this, finally, the season that completely rewrites the script?